Iowa Republican Senate candidate Joni Ernst, who first made a splash on social media by saying that she was qualified to be a senator because she had castrated pigs in the past and was going to go to Washington and cut out pork or some such. Well, she has a new ad wherein she promises to take aim at Obamacare, which Gallup polls today show has brought down the uninsured rate of Americans to its lowest level since Gallup started recording it in 2008. Also, you should know that over 8 million people have signed up in health plans through Obamacare, not including the other 4 or 5 on the expansion of Medicaid. Some of the figures are that only 13% of those who signed up out of that 4.5 million had been uninsured before Obamacare. Even Health and Human Services saying that sounds a little high. Nevertheless, a lot of people have signed up for health insurance that didn't have it before. Again, you're being forced to buy a product from a middleman who shouldn't really exist. We should have single payer. Nevertheless, despite the fact that the Republican Party seems to have abandoned the notion of repealing Obamacare, here's that thing. You know, I got to watch it. I'm going to play it on mine because I want to be able to watch it, and because it really does. The visual is really great, and it really. I'm going to narrate it for you. Here we go.
She's not your typical candidate. Conservative Joni Ernst. Mom, farm girl.
All right. And now I should tell you, she just drove up in a motorcycle. And by drove up, I mean she'd put the kickstand down. And then she steps off the bike and, doing her best impersonation of Michael Dukakis in a tank, takes the helmet off and then heads into what is presumably some type of building. She's a farm girl.
And a lieutenant colonel who carries more than just lipstick in her purse. Joni Ernst will take...
She's now, of course, at a firing range and putting a cartridge into her handgun.
Aim at wasteful spending. And once she sets her sights on Obamacare, Joni's gonna unload.
She manages to put about 12 holes in a target with only 3 shots, which, of course, it's a trick you pick up once you get that leather jacket, that biker jacket that she put on there that she must wear in that motorcycle that she rented for this.
Oh, and one more thing. Joni doesn't miss much.
Give me a shot. I'm Joni Ernst, and I approve this message.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing, the same thing. The what?
It's like, oh, and one more thing. The same thing, basically.
That's right.
I just love the way that ad ends.
I'm going to use as many gun and firing puns in this as possible. Take an aim at Obamacare. Give me a shot.
Oh, and one more thing.
One more thing. You'll get a bang out of voting for me.
It's like an ad. It's like a pilot for some
I'm
like
no
late
silver
80s.
bullet, but I certainly hit my target.
Oh, and one more thing. She doesn't miss her target. That's basically it.
One more thing.
And by the way,
here's that ad again.
By the way, to summarize, the same thing before, slightly reworded. It seemed like a pilot for some like late 80s kind of like cable access show. She's got the leather jacket on.
What was Diane Aiello's show? I can't remember now. Della Ventura.
When an African is trying to give Americans health care, what does Jody, the equalizer, do?
Ba-na-ba-ba-ba-ba.
She takes aim.
She takes aim.
And by that I mean she aims
shoots her gun at the target and then implies that this is Obamacare. I'm going to shoot it full of 14 holes with only 3 shots.
Oh, and by the way, see that thing with holes in it?
That's a target.
That's
and
the
that's
thing
the metaphor we're using.
Because that's what we were talking about
earlier.
before.
She's just unholstered all of her anti-Obamacare. Goodness. Send some real firepower to Washington. She's going to be on semi-automatic. The safety is off, if you get what we're saying.
Oh, and by the way...
Ready, aim, fire!
Oh, and by the way, when we said safety off, we met her gun that she's shooting during the video.
That's right.
Our consultants have...
Unholster your voting pen. And fire at that electoral ballot. Because she's in range. Like as in the gun range.
Because, again, that's where she is, by the way. At the gun
Incidentally,
range.
No targets were harmed during this shooting of this ad at a gun range.
That's the best thing ever. Oh, by the way, the same thing. I can't get over that. I love it.
Incidentally, in other words,